What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 62, everyone. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode is going to be my QB rankings for week 4 of fantasy football, all tiers, all teams. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like, make sure you hit that subscription button, turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. I will be live for every single game this week and all weekend, helping you guys with rosters, trades, etc. And if you guys have any comments, you can't make the live stream, drop them in the comments. I am here to answer every single fantasy football question you guys have. And let's dive into it. Let's get the week started. So, guys, here is my board for week 4. You are going to see the ballers tier, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. And at the bottom, you're going to see some pictures of quarterbacks that are out or QB changes that have been made. So right now with Malik Willis, we don't know. I think Jordan Love may be out there this week. It is a big game versus the Vikings, big division rival game. But again, we don't know, so I'm going to leave Malik Willis here. I do think Jordan Love's going to play. I'm going to put him in my rankings, so I'm going to leave Malik down here for now. Russell Wilson lost the job to Justin Fields. Man, this guy's 3-0, looking great. Drake May's down here as well because I want to see this guy get on the field. Man, I'm tired of Jacoby Brissett, but he still looks like the starter for now. Tua with the concussion. Bryce Young benched. And Justin Herbert looks like he's going to miss this week right now. Again, it's not official, but I am going to put Easton Stick in my rankings because the updates of Justin Herbert don't look like he's going to play this week. But again, I don't know yet as well. It's too early in the week. Now, starting off with the ballers tier, the number 1 quarterback of the week is going to be Kyler Murray. And we're going to talk about both games here because Jaden Daniels is my number 2. So now you have Jaden Daniels going up against Kyler Murray, the Commanders versus the Cardinals. The 2 worst secondaries you could have. This game should be an absolute shootout across the board. 30-plus points on both sides of the ball here for both teams. Jaden Daniels looked absolutely electric on Monday Night Football last week. Kyler Murray looked absolutely electric as well, back-to-back weeks. Now, you could have Trey McBride out with his concussion, but that's still not going to stop me from putting Kyler Murray number 1. Because this Washington Commander defense gives up 255 pass yards average, 31st worst in the NFL. Or sorry, right behind Baltimore is worst for the NFL, which is crazy that Baltimore gives up 300. Arizona averaging 200 yards against them. But again, they had a couple games that helped them out there where they got to survive without the passing game happening. Now, heading to number 3 here, the best fantasy asset in fantasy football is still Josh Allen. But this game, like I just said, the Baltimore Ravens give up the most points in the air with 291. But I still like their defense. They just signed in Beakway or whatever back as well for a nice little contract there as well. I expect the Ravens defense to step up here on Sunday Night Football. And I'm going to throw Lamar Jackson right next to him at number 4. The Bills defense has been lights out, guys, against the pass. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you watched Trevor Lawrence last night, he struggled mightily versus them. Lamar Jackson is still QB1 on the season. I mean, he's averaging 22.8 points a game. He's still going to run crazy. Same with Josh Allen. So Josh Allen just had a week 2 blunder where they just blew him out and he got to sit, let's run James Cook the whole time. And then you saw him last night versus the Jags drop 30 points and a half. When he hits that Superman mode, it is just unstoppable for Josh Allen. You could say that he lost Diggs and Gabe Davis. It doesn't matter. This guy can backpack an entire fantasy football team by himself. And you should have drafted him in every single draft ahead of ADP because this is what happens when you get Josh Allen. It's just absolutely ridiculous to watch him play football. He's just a man on a mission every single time. And he's one of my favorite picks every single time in every draft. Now, here comes the big pick of the week from Sleaze. Justin Fields is in my top 5 quarterbacks, guys. He gets the Indianapolis Colts. They are ranked 21st in pass yards allowed at 220. And you have to look at the game script that they have now, right? So Justin Fields has had one of the hardest starts to fantasy football you could literally have for a player as a quarterback, right? His matchups have been absolutely brutal. And now he gets his first defense that's not in the top 5. So he played at Atlanta. Their secondary is probably the best in the NFL. He went at Denver. Patrick Surtain and their secondary just locked up Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, everybody. And they're just unbelievable in the secondary. Then he went to the Chargers. Chargers were the number 1 defense going in. Yeah, Herbert got hurt. It hurt them a little bit. Opened up more opportunities for Fields, and he hit a bomb pass for 245 and had 22 points. But now you get the Indianapolis Colts, who can be shredded every single way. And you might have Najee Harris and Jalen Warren with an MRI on the knee. Najee Harris with his arm in a sling heading into the week. We don't know the update there yet. This could be a full Justin Fields run pass game. They might have Cordell Patterson out there, but I don't know how he's going to look. I mean, he's 35 years old. So Justin Fields is one of my smash plays, and he's also on a lot of waiver wires, guys. Go spend your fab. This is his job for the future, and he looks great out there. Number 6 is going to be CJ Stroud coming off a tough game in week 3. The Vikings absolutely throttled him, man. But now you get the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you watch Monday Night Football, look what Josh Allen just did to them with less weapons on the offensive side. This should be CJ Stroud, bounce back, feel good. My draft pick ADP was worth it right here. He should absolutely torch this Jag secondary. They are very, very weak versus the pass. I mean, it's not going to look good here for Jacksonville for the rest of the way. They rank 30th in yards allowed. They have 252 yards against them a game. This is going to be a smashed CJ Stroud. I'm going to take all the props over for his passing yards in this game, and I love this matchup. And you're probably not going to have Dameon Pierce and Joe Mixon again, so they might be pass heavy again with Cam Akers in the backfield. So I love Stroud this week. Number 7, smoking Joe Burrow is back, guys. He looked electric last night. Although they didn't get the win, the Commanders played great. He absolutely bombed them. He found his connection with Jamar Chase. It was good to see T. Higgins back out there. Dude, and Yoshabas is getting a lot of work, man. This offense, if they can just string together some wins here, they will start clicking. And Joe Burrow looks like his wrist is fine. And he's going to be in my top 10 quarterbacks the rest of the way with having Chase and Higgins and all them out there. Number 8, and this one's getting worrisome here with Patrick Mahomes. They get the Chargers. And I should probably drop him down, but I still think he can score early enough because if Easton Stick is out there, this will not be a Patrick Mahomes game. Again, we don't know yet. So I'm going to go down here and go to where Easton Stick is in my rankings. I have him at 31. So he's going to absolutely struggle if he's the starter. If Justin Herbert's in there, I'm not moving him that much higher. I'd probably move Herbert to like 26, 27. Herbert has been a struggle. He hasn't scored over 12 fantasy points in the season. They look like a run-heavy offense. So on the Patrick Mahomes side here, the Chargers defense is good, but the Chargers defense won't be able to be out there, or they'll be out there the whole time if Easton Stick is the quarterback because he's going to get rocked. So it's kind of a 50-50 tilt right now on how it's going to play out with the quarterback situation. But Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to put at 8, and I'm scared to start him, honestly, because of the matchup. Number 9, he bounced back heavy in the second half, killed me in a lot of fantasy leagues. Dak Prescott got the Baltimore Ravens. But again, the Baltimore Ravens defense is the worst versus the pass in the NFL right now, which is crazy to me. Now you get the New York Giants. This should be a get-right game for the Cowboys to get 2-2. But I thought that last week with the Cleveland Browns, and the New York Giants showed up. I mean, Malik Neighbors looked great. Danny Dimes dropped another 20-plus point game. So I'm going to go to my Danny Dimes over here as well. I have Danny Dimes ranked right now at quarterback 25. So, I mean, he's looked good. Malik Neighbors has looked unbelievable. He looks better than Marvin Harrison right now. It's crazy to say. He looks unstoppable, and the targets he's getting fed is crazy. And Danny Dimes with the rushing upside has become a super flex serviceable quarterback in the past 2 weeks, and I did not see it coming, so I got to apologize to Danny Dimes there. 2 20-point games in a row. Who'd have thunk it? Heading down to quarterback number 10 in tier 1 is going to be Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts, guys, is going to be missing Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown possibly in this game. Devonta Smith took that nasty hit. He threw his hands up. It didn't look good for Devonta at all. And if you get a concussion now in the NFL and the protocol, you're pretty much going to miss 1 week at least here. So, but when I'm talking about, Kyler Murray at number 1, we don't have an update on McBride if he had a concussion or not yet. It's being weird updated. But Devonta Smith definitely did. And Jalen Hurts had 11 points, man, against the Saints. So he had just terrible numbers. I mean, it was not good in the game. It was a lucky win. Saquon Barkley carried him. He backpacked him. I think that's going to happen again here. I mean, you get Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay just got throttled by the Broncos. This should be a Jalen Hurts. I'm going to rush game, but I'm still not going to put him in the top 10 without his top 11 without his top 2 weapons out there. Number 11, this is the bounce back game here. Baker Mayfield. So Baker Mayfield had the worst matchup last week with the Denver Broncos secondary, which is, dude, you honestly might not even have to start a quarterback against the Broncos secondary because it's that good this year. Patrick Surtain has literally locked up DK Metcalf, George Pickens, and who did they play this week? Mike Evans, all in a row. Held him to 75 yards in 3 games. The man is unbelievable. He's the best shadow corner. Now you get Philly's secondary, who is very susceptible to the pass. You saw Olave pop off. You should see a big game here for Chris Godwin and Mike Evans as well in this game. I had Mike Evans on a major sit last week. I hope you guys listen to that because Surtain absolutely shut him down. Number 12, Caleb Williams. Now, I was rough on him to start. He still didn't play good last week, but that defense is going to give you enough opportunities to where he can have fantasy points, right, and be relevant. So he dropped 22 points last week, 363 pass yards, but it's kind of an outlier. If you watch the game or paid attention to it at all, it was turnover, 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 turnover. So every offense got the ball nonstop, and he had so many opportunities. The man had 52 pass attempts. Now you get the Rams defense. The Rams defense is bottom of the barrel in the NFL. They're very bad versus the pass. They're ranked 28th, averaging 248 yards, and they're bottom of the barrel versus the run. So this should be an absolute great game here for Caleb Williams again. I just need to see him look a little more accurate with his passes. I mean, he's just not hitting them. It's just weird to explain. It looks kind of like a deer in the headlights sometimes. But again, he's a rookie. It's week 4. And this should be a get-right game at home in Chicago. Soldier Field is going to be absolutely rocking. And the Rams are depleted, man. Number 13 is the QB2 on the year. And if this guy is on your waiver wire, I don't know what fantasy football league you're playing in, go get this guy if he is. Spend all the fab you have. Because Sam Darnold is about to get Jordan Addison back. Week 7 should be TJ Hawkinson. And he's about to blow it up. The Vikings are for real. I was way off on them when the season started. I did not see them as a 3-0 contender, beating 2 playoff teams back-to-back in the 49ers and the Texans. And Sam Darnold, I think it's almost like matchup proof now. It's crazy to me that Sam Darnold is even getting 20 points a game, but he is. And it's like with no weapons. So I mean, if you can go get Sam Darnold right now, you have to. I mean, I'd even trade for this guy. I know you get the Green Bay Packers. They have a lot of turnovers on defense. They're number 1. It's a division game. I think Jordan Love will be back out there. So it's going to be a different game offensively. You won't get as many, opportunities. Say you have Malik Willis, your defense can stop them. You get more opportunities on offense. Now you get Jordan Love out there. Should free up the Green Bay defense a little more with some first down drives and stuff like that. But Malik Willis looked okay last week, but he had 2 kind of good matchups. Heading down to number 14 here. My number 1 sick quarterback last week was Anthony Richardson. I'm sitting him again, but I still can't rank him outside the top 15 in case if his Superman hero game goes off with his rushing upside. I mean, he has looked terrible, guys, but he's also had a brutal schedule. Like, everyone is getting down on him, giving him shit. I understand. I mean, he hasn't produced. He dropped 34 points week 1 against Houston, which is, again, a leaky defense, and he hit 2 bombs. He only completed 9 passes in that game to get 34 points, which is incredible. Then he played Green Bay and Chicago, and he's averaging 10 points a game. Those are 2 good defenses. Now you're going to get the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, I'd be looking elsewhere, but I'm still going to rank him in my top 15 because, he could pop for that superhero bomb, superhero run game. But still, he hasn't looked accurate. He hasn't looked good at all in any single way. He's completed under 50% of his passes in every single game, guys. That is very, very bad for Anthony Richardson. Number 15 is going to be Jared Goffel. And he kind of had a little bounce back game, kind of had a run game pop off, last week versus Tampa. But he still hasn't had the Goff game, versus Arizona. He still hasn't had that Goff game where he even pops 20 yet. I mean, he's averaging 13.5 fantasy points on the season. It's not great, guys. But I still like this matchup a ton this week. You get Seattle. You're going to get the Monday night game at home. But here's the scary part as well here is Seattle's defense is number 1 versus the pass, but those are skewed. They've only allowed 132 yards. But Seattle has played 3 very, very easy opponents to start the season. Denver, Patriots, and it's just been a cakewalk for them and their defense. So I think Jared Goff will open this up here. I think you'll see hopefully a 20-point game from him, but I'm still ranking in middle tier till he pops. Number 16, and this one's just tempered. I'm so high on Jordan Love this year. If he's back 100% healthy next week, say, come week 5, he plays week 4 and he survives week 5, I'll put him right back in the top 10 where he belongs. He has too many weapons with Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks. I mean, Josh Jacobs, Kraft, Musgrave. This guy's got everything you need. It is a tough matchup versus the Vikings defense. They are the number one defense in fantasy points. They are also a top, I believe, I don't want to get it wrong here, a top 16, 17 pass defense. And it's actually, never mind, I'm wrong. They've given up 239 yards in the air, so they're number 26 through the air. So this could be a big Jordan Love game here if he's out there. Again, I have him ranked in the middle because I'm worried about him coming off the injury. The re-injury risk is really high as well when you come back early. I mean, honestly, with the Packers winning 2 games, we possibly could see Malik Willis in here because they're 2-1, and maybe give Jordan Love another week. But if Malik Willis is out here, I'm putting Malik Willis down in tier 4. Heading into the next guy, Trevor Lawrence, man. It's tough right now with T-Law. It is just one of those seasons to start that's really rough. I mean, you get a plus matchup here. You get Houston this week. And Trevor Lawrence hasn't done anything. He has the weapons too. BTJ is out there. ETN is out there. Christian Kirk is out there. He might get Evan Ingram back this week. That might help as well. But he's also had a very tough 3-game schedule. And I mean, you went at Miami, great pass defense, Ramsey and Fuller. You went at Cleveland, supposed to be a good defense till they played the Giants. And then you went at Buffalo, one of the best pass defenses. So now you get Houston. This is his first plus matchup here. And I know people are going to be down on Trevor Lawrence, but this is like a time to buy right now if you can get him for super low, because you're about to get Houston, Indy, Chicago, New England in 4 games. Those are very beatable pass defenses in 4 games. He's had an awful start with just brutal defenses. So I'm not fully out on Trevor Lawrence yet. I'm still going to keep him as a tier 2 quarterback because the matchup is such a plus this week. Last guy in tier 2, number 18, Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant showed up. 3 touchdown passes to Juwan Jennings. It absolutely killed me in some leagues. I mean, I can't believe that I had to play against him in like 3 or 4 leagues this week. It was crazy. He dropped a 50 bomb. But you get New England here. And the New England defense is actually like a weird statement between the Patriots and Niners every time we play. Because I'm a Niner fan. I know this. I think it's going to be more of a Jordan Mason game here in this game. Purdy, could pop off and give you 15, 16, find a couple touchdowns. But again, you may not have Kittle, you may not have Debo, and CMC's in Germany dealing with the tendonitis, and it's the Avengers aren't out there yet. But Purdy still put up great numbers last week. I had him as a smash start. The Arizona defense is very beatable though, so that's a given. The Patriots defense does rank 27th. They got torched by Aaron Rodgers, but they played good the first 2 weeks. It was just a weird Thursday night game for them. And man, they need to get Drake May out there. I'm sick of Jacoby Brissett. Tier 3, quarterback 19, Derek Carr. I did not see the flop coming against the Eagles last week. My goodness, it was ugly, man. Now this week, you're going to get the Atlanta Falcons, man. Another tough secondary here. Probably the best secondary in football with Bates, with Simmons, with the lockdown corner, A.J. Terrell, Judon in the middle. I mean, the free agent acquisitions the Falcons made was amazing. But I'm not. I don't love the Derek Carr start this week. I'm probably going to have him on a sit-him this week, but I'm still going to rank him in the top 20 because the bottom tier of the quarterbacks just get tough. Number 20 coming in here, Deshaun Watson had a decent fantasy football game last week versus the Giants. He lit up Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper had 27 points, but the offense still isn't clicking. And I mean, if you're watching these games, he still hasn't scored over 17 points. He still hasn't passed for 200 yards. He has 3 touchdowns and 2 picks, but he's getting a little rushing upside. He's almost to 100 rushing yards in 3 games, which is nice to see for him, at least running the ball. But the accuracy is off, guys. I mean, it's not good. 24 for 45, 22 for 34, 21 for 37 against the Giants. You should be in the 65 to 70% range. But you're getting the Las Vegas Raiders, who were just torched by Andy Dalton. So, God, he just needs to wake up. The Browns just need to wake up. They have so much talent on both sides of the ball, but I just don't trust it yet with Deshaun Watson, so I'm going to leave him at 20. Number 21 is going to be Geno Smith and the new grub Seattle 3-0. I can't believe I'm saying that. Seahawks offense. They're going to get Detroit Lions on Monday night. Detroit's defense is going to get after them in the front. This is their first tough matchup of the season. The Seahawks kind of had, like I alluded to earlier in the season, kind of a cakewalk start here to the season, and I mean, they're 3-0, right? You got Denver, you got New England, and then you got Miami with Skylar Thompson, which was just even easier. So I mean, now you get your first test, and I don't like Geno in test, but I am going to leave him at 21 this week. Number 22, my call of the week. Twitter, YouTube, everything. It was amazing. I said that Andy Dalton is going to pop. I said that Deontay Johnson is going to pop off. And I said the Raider D is going to miss. And they all were absolute hits. Now the Red Rifle gets a revenge game with the Bengals. Oh, man. I'm willing to start him here again, guys. I mean, if you say you're, wrist about Carr or wrist about Anthony Richardson, which I honestly would start Andy Dalton over Richardson. I'm just ranking him up there because, again, he's a superhero sometimes and he could pop off. But Andy Dalton is going to be a serviceable start here. Look what Jaden Daniels just did to the Bengals, guys. Andy Dalton looked in rhythm. He looked like he knew Dave Canales' system. He hit all the wide receivers on point. And, man, it looked really good. And I'm willing to start him this week. And I like him as my tier 3 quarterback, number 22 this week. Rounding out tier 3 here is Kirk Cousins. Kirk, oh man, they've had a brutal start, guys. Like, everyone is panicking on Bijan. Everyone is panicking on Drake London, even though Drake London played all right. And Kirk hasn't hit 20 yet. But, dude, they played at Pitt, a top defense, versus Pitt, a top defense, at Philly, and then versus Kansas City. And now you get the Saints. And then Tampa. That's like 5 playoff teams possibly in a row. Kirk will find his rhythm. I just don't like it right here in this game. The New Orleans Saints defense is very good. Lattimore is back. Drake London's going to be in trouble. But Kyle Pitts should have a big game here if you watch what Dallas Goedert just did to them. So, I mean, I don't like Kirk this week, but I like him, as a tier 3 if you're in depth of your super flex, you need it, or you're injured, I could throw him in there. If you're missing, Justin Herbert or Tua or something like that. But besides that, I don't love Kirk as a start, but I am going to leave him as my quarterback 23 this week. Tier 4, man, he looked back. It's just a bad matchup, guys. It's just terrible here. Aaron Rodgers looked absolutely lights out on Thursday Night Football. Had the zip to the ball. He's one of my favorite, probably the best thrower of the football I've ever seen in my entire life. But you're going to get the Denver Broncos secondary here. You're going to get Patrick Surtain on Garrett Wilson, who's held, like I said at the beginning of the video, Patrick Surtain has locked up DK Metcalf to 29 yards, locked up George Pickens to 27 yards, locked up Mike Evans to nothing. I mean, Garrett Wilson, I'll get to that in my wide receiver video. He's going to have a struggle here. And the Denver Broncos defense as a whole, guys, is only allowing 133 pass yards a game. That is number 2 in the NFL. This is going to be more of a Breece Hall, Braylon Allen game to me here. But, man, I'm looking to get Aaron Rodgers because he looked damn good, guys. Remember, Danny Dimes is also a tier 4 quarterback of mine, 25. So we're going to move on to 26 here. Stafford. What a win. Killed my Niners, man. What a comeback. Kyron Williams. I don't want to hear any Blake Corum for the rest of the freaking season or anything else from all these Blake Corum truthers that are out of their mind and don't understand fantasy football. But this matchup is brutal. You're going at Soldier Field, at Chicago, no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua. I mean, they kind of got Tutu Atwell involved. They were scrambling around with Demarcus Robinson and Jordan Whittington. Somehow McVay can coach a gem and get a win. It's absolutely crazy. But I'm not starting Matt Stafford versus Chicago Bears defense. No way in hell I'm doing that. This is going to be a rough game for them that I do not like at all. The Chicago Bears are only allowing 160 pass yards a game. Top 7 in the NFL. Number 27, Will Levis. Now, he's kind of found a little rhythm here, guys. And this could be a sneaky start in a way because you could get more volume opportunities here if Skylar Thompson or Hunley is the quarterback or whatever the Dolphins do here this week. They got to do something. They should be calling Ryan Tannehill right now or be like, Andrew Luck, you want to get out of retirement? Something like that. But Will Levis found a little rhythm. I mean, I said DeAndre Hopkins was going to be the start last week. He over Ridley. People kind of gave me shit, but I like that he was. Love you. And he has a good matchup here where the volume could be even more. So I'm I'm not mad at a Will Levis start here because this game could be a good matchup for him. But again, it is risky, so I am going to leave him at 27. Number 28, he's almost lost his job, guys. Gardner Minshew, man. We might see Aiden O'Connell here in week 5. Gardner Minshew just got absolutely throttled by the Panthers defense, which was atrocious. I mean, Devontae Adams did nothing. You saw Jacoby Myers' game. Zamir White did nothing. This offense looks just completely lost, and the defense is taking so many injuries. Gardner Minshew hasn't even had a 16-point fantasy game yet, although he has tons of passing yards. But he's thrown 7 picks, guys. 7. He has, 3 picks. 3 TDs, 3 picks. It's not great. It's not looking good for the offense. I mean, they got a garbage time game against the Ravens. They came back and thrived. They're playing garbage time all 3 games. They were down to the Chargers. Garbage time got passing yards. Carolina garbage time got passing yards. I don't like Gardner Minshew this week, but I am going to leave him in tier 4, number 28. Tier 5, Bo Nix with the show up game. I don't trust him versus the New York Jets. You have Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. This defense is going to get after him. It's going to be ugly. But I will say that he impressed versus Tampa Bay. I mean, I did not see Bo Nix having a good game like that. I did not see the Broncos really dominating like that. I said they would keep this kind of stay in the game because the matchup was perfect. Because their defense is good versus the pass, and that's what the Bucs are good at is the pass, not the run. So it was kind of a perfect matchup for Bo Nix in that game. But I cannot put him above tier 5 against the New York Jets defense this week. I think it's going to be real trouble brewing for Bo Nix this week. Number 30, Jacoby Brissett. Do we really have to give it a second to talk about? I want to move Drake May up into this thing so bad. Jacoby Brissett is just a journeyman that's just plugging the hole, which I guess you could say is kind of smart, you know. If you look at, quarterback history, Jordan Love sitting behind Andrew Luck. They should be literally sitting Bo Nix behind whoever is there right now. But he's got a dub. But I'm not Jacoby Brissett. I can't even. This guy, dude, look at his yards, man. He hasn't passed for over 150 yards on the season. He has 1 touchdown pass. That's all I got to say about him. And 32, this is either going to be Skylar Thompson or Huntley or whatever the Miami do here this week with their quarterback situation with Tua taking that hit and getting concussed. Skylar Thompson is just killing the fantasy of Tyreek Hill, of Jalen Waddle, of Devon Achane. Well, Achane kind of had a good game. I'll get to that in the running backs video next on my rankings. But I'm not starting Skylar Thompson in any way, not even in Superflex against the Tennessee Titans, even though they just got shredded by Malik Willis's run game. Their pass defense has been good on the year, though. So the Tennessee Titans only allow 139 pass yards a game. That's 3rd in the NFL. You don't want to start anybody versus their pass defense right now. That is it for episode 62, guys. My quarterback tier rankings for week 4. Make sure you smash that like. Make sure you smash that subscription. Turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. We will be live before every single game Thursday. We'll have Friday shows, Saturday shows, Sunday shows. All the support has been amazingly appreciated across all the platforms. YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, all of that. It's been absolutely awesome. I can't thank you guys enough. And if you can't make the live, guys, make sure you drop any comments you have regarding fantasy football into the comment section. I will try to answer all of them. That is my goal as a content creator. And I'm trying to get all of my content out to you guys before the Thursday kickoff. So my next video coming will be my running back ranking tiers. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. SleezBall out.